Hi, this is Kevin down at Archie, Cochrane, Ford in Billings. We've been having a lot of questions about all the buttons and stuff in Broncos. So today I'm going to go over just your G.O.A.T modes, which stands for Go Over All Terrain. And I'm also going to go over hero buttons, which is your locking front rear axle, and kind of explain to you how that works and how it can keep you out of trouble and also have a lot of fun doing it. So let's get started. These are your G.O.A.T modes, and so I'm going to be turning the cylinder here, and it always defaults your normal when you're first taking off. And so when I turn it, see where it's on normal mode here? That's your daily everyday driving. Eco mode, okay, so that's just exactly what you would think. That's for economy. And what that basically does is it changes your shift points. Almost everything I'm going to be showing you on this changes your shift point. Eco mode is going to make it where it's not so aggressive, and so you're getting better mileage. It's shifting basically slower, more relaxed. Whenever I turn this button again, it goes back to that mode again, and then if I want to go to the next one, I can flip it. That one is sport mode. And on a Bronco, when you turn it into sport mode, remember you are basically putting it in race mode, right? So when you floor it with that 10-speed automatic, it's holding its shifts. And so when I shift it into that, it all automatically puts it into 4 high, because we're putting a lot of torque and horsepower to the ground, and it doesn't want to lose traction. And it's going to stay on for you, even if we, run it up to higher speeds. That's not a problem. Sport mode can also be used for a long pass where you're doing 55, 60 on the highway, and you come up behind somebody, you have a long pass, and you want all the power that you can possibly get to make the pass safely. You can shift it on the fly from whatever speed you're at, 65, 70, put it in sport mode. You'll feel your tachometer stiffen up because it knows you want to go fast and you want all the power out of the vehicle, and it works incredibly well to keep you safe for making that pass. Next one is slippery mode. This is basically, we've got a lot of horsepower and torque here. Basically what it's doing is it's adjusting our shifts so it isn't too fast, because you obviously don't want to spin on ice. So it's just a more relaxed, keeping you safe on icy roads. The next one is mud and ruts, and so it not only put it in 4 high automatically, it also locked in my rear axle and put on my front camera. And if you'll notice, now I can track where I'm driving, so if there was a big rock there, I can just barely miss it, or I can straddle it, because we have 11.9 inches of clearance with this particular vehicle. And so you get a pretty good idea of whether you're going to be able to straddle it or if we have to miss it completely. The next one is going to be sand. It still has our rear locked. That's still on, and it's in 4 high. And that's so that we keep that traction going on loose sand. And it's also adjusting shift points with every G.O.A.T mode, so we're not putting too much torque and horsepower to the ground. Okay, the next one and the last one is probably the most fun one. And I want to talk a little bit more about Baja mode. That's one of my favorites. I actually used it down in Moab because we did some relatively high speed across the desert, and that's what this is designed for. It basically adjusts your shift points so that when you are traveling, we're keeping the Bronco safe at high speeds on desert, and it works incredibly well. You almost have to utilize it and try it to understand how well it actually works. And the G.O.A.T modes are fascinating because lots of times it's going to lock in your rear axle, but there's times you're just driving along and you want to just put it in 4-wheel high. I showed you how to do that just by touching a button, and it also gives you some more choices when you're off-roading. So these are the G.O.A.T modes down here. What I'm going to show you up here to tie it all together is this is the hero switches, is what they're called. There's 3 really important ones. One of them is your front locker, and so if we are off-roading and we're spinning the front, okay, then we can touch this and it locks our front locker so both wheels are turning at the same time. There's times we're going to have to use that and make that decision when we need it. This also, sometimes I want to be with my locking rear axle on, especially like when you're rock climbing, spinning it a little bit. And so I can override either one of those by touching a button, no matter what mode I'm in. And then also up on the 3rd button, we have what's called trail control assist, and that locks a brake so that if we're driving down and we have to make like a super hard left, we can touch it. It locks a brake and allows us to turn like that. And with this short wheelbase, Broncos are known for having a great turning radius, and when you add that component on, it's amazing how tight a turn you can make whether you're going left or right. So these hero switches are very handy when you need to help control the situation on top of what the computer is also helping you do. But it's just a great package where part of it the computer's helping you out, and part of the time you can override when you need that feature. And to kind of round this up, I want you to check this out. MSRP on this was $68,470. Remember, we're still on employee pricing for at least a few more weeks, don't know how long. You can buy this for $63,581, which is employee pricing. That's how much I would buy it. My cameraman, that's how much he would buy it for. That can't go on forever. You just want to come down and capitalize on that, get a fantastic vehicle. A lot of people go, yeah, Broncos, why are they so expensive? It's because they're worth it. Come on down and I'll show you why.